She is mentally unfit to manage her own affairs, Your Honor. She is confused, erratic, and a danger to herself. My father did not even blink as he lied to the judge. He wiped a fake tear and glanced at the relatives he had invited to watch my humiliation. I did not scream. I did not object. I just checked my watch. That was all the time he had left before his entire world imploded. Have you ever had someone to make themselves the victim? If you have, then you know the feeling, the slow burn, the disbelief, the strange calm that comes right before the storm. Walter sat down, smoothing his tie like he had just delivered a eulogy. The courtroom was heavy with silence and expectation. My aunts and cousins filled the back rows, waiting for me to fall apart, waiting for Rhodey, the 29-year-old disappointment, to prove him right. But I did nothing. Miss Roddy, Judge Morrison said, peering over her glasses, your father has made serious allegations about your mental capacity and your handling of the estate. Do you have a response? Walter leaned forward, hungry for an outburst. If I lost control, he would win. I stood slowly and faced him, my expression blank. In psychology, they call it the gray rock method. You become uninteresting. You give a manipulator nothing to feed on. I was not silent because I was broken. I was silent because I was prepared. I am listening, Your Honor, I said evenly. I would not want to interrupt his performance. Walter sneered. She lives in a tiny apartment in the worst part of town. She takes the bus. She wears discount clothes. She has squandered every opportunity I gave her. The gallery murmured in agreement. What he did not know was that the apartment was a choice. While he flaunted luxury cars and expensive suits, I was building something invisible. 2 years ago, he had come to my studio and called it embarrassing. He had driven away in a Porsche, leased under my social security number, without my knowledge. That was the day I stopped being his daughter and started being his accountant. Every insult became motivation. Every time he mocked my simple job, I transferred money into offshore investments. Well, he thought I was entering data. I was quietly managing multi-million-dollar portfolios for private equity clients. I was not broke. I was patient. She has no concept of financial responsibility, Walter shouted, slamming his hand on the table. Then, his lawyer submitted financial records from my trust fund. Over the past 2 years, $750,000 had vanished in transfers to shell companies. She lost it and did nothing, Walter declared. She is so disconnected from reality that she let her inheritance disappear. The room gasped. Judge Morrison looked at me. These records show significant depletion of funds. Do you have an explanation? I stood and picked up a blue folder. I do not have an explanation, Your Honor. I have a map. Inside were IP logs and digital traces for every transfer. Every transaction originated from a single desktop computer at 442 Oakwood Drive, my father's home office. The funds were not sent randomly. They were wired to Apex Consulting, a company he had registered under his mistress's maiden name. Walter's face drained of color. If you knew he was stealing, the judge asked, why did you not stop him? Because if I stopped him at $50,000, it would have been a family dispute, a civil matter. I needed a federal case. I disabled security alerts. I let the amount cross $500,000 in state lines that establishes a pattern of interstate wire fraud, sufficient for a RICO charge. The mandatory sentence is 10 years. Walter slumped in his chair. I did not lose $750,000, Dad. I spent it. That was the price of your prison sentence. For a moment, it was over. Then he reached into his briefcase and pulled out a document. She authorized every transfer, he said triumphantly. This is a notarized power of attorney signed 2 years ago. The judge examined it. The signature looked authentic. It was mine. I had signed it during my grandmother's funeral. Buried in paperwork I did not read. Walter smiled. She just forgot. She is confused. The room shifted again. Yes, that is my signature, I said calmly. He relaxed, thinking he had one. Then I handed the judge another folder. That document gives him control of one account. It does not give him a place to live. Over the past year, I had quietly purchased a mortgage note on his house and the building that housed his law office. He had missed multiple payments. I own your office, I told him. I own your home. You came here seeking guardianship. You are leaving as my tenant. An eviction notice had been filed that morning. Walter's confidence shattered. I slid a document across the table. A confession and withdrawal of the guardianship petition. Sign it. 30 days to vacate. Refuse and the locks changed. Today, his hand trembled as he signed. Before he could say another word, the courtroom doors opened. Federal marshals entered with the U.S. attorney. Walter had committed perjury under oath. And months earlier, I had tipped investigators about the wire fraud. A sealed indictment had been waiting. He was arrested in front of the same family he had invited to watch me collapse. No one spoke as they led him away outside the courthouse. The air felt lighter, cleaner. I finalized the sale of his house. I terminated every shared account. I deleted his number. Peace is not something you are given. Sometimes you have to build it quietly, brick by brick, while they underestimate you. And sometimes the strongest move is letting them dig their own grave, then stepping aside when it caves.